Hey, I shared a piece of my story recently, an excerpt from my memoir. And like many of you, I've had to deal with denial, minimizing, and rewriting of the truth. So here's what I want to say. You know, when people say words don't hurt, that's a lie. There's a saying, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words can never hurt you. That's not accurate. Because some words stays with you for years, especially when they come from your mother. Even after you have done the work to heal from those words, what often follows isn't admission or apology. It's denial, gaslighting, the I never said that or you misunderstood me, as if your pain is fiction. Even at almost 50 years old, I'm still being cussed out and called out of my name. And unfortunately, this is a common habit among some Caribbean parents. No matter how old you are, they think it's acceptable to disrespect you and treat you like you're still a child. But after a while, that doesn't cut as deep because sadly, you start to expect it. You get used to your truth being denied, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. And that's why it's so important to set boundaries, not just for your peace, but so you're not drawn into dishonor or provoked to respond in a way that doesn't reflect who you have become. 1 year on my birthday, my mother didn't say happy birthday. Instead, she said, people say you look like me, but you don't look like me because you are ugly. That was my birthday greetings. I remember my stepfather saying, she's not ugly. He repeat, she's not ugly. But the damage was already done. That wasn't the only time I was called ugly. It happened on more than one occasion. And it was never said in a joking way. I know the tone. It was serious, it was intentional, and it left a lasting wound. I recently shared that memory online because it's part of my truth. And someone, according to my mother, sent her a screenshot. And like she always does, she denied it. She said I would never call God's unmade ugly, and then tried to justify it by saying she sometimes jokingly calls her grandson little ugly boy. If on your daughter's birthday, instead of saying happy birthday, you said people are saying you look like me, but you don't look like me because you're ugly, that's not the same as jokingly calling her little ugly girl. If it were playful, then why wasn't it happy birthday, little ugly girl? Because it wasn't playful. It was intentional. It was consistent because it wasn't the first time I was told that I was ugly. It was painful and it shaped the way I saw myself for years. I grew up in a church where we were expected to keep our hair natural and unprocessed. But my mother insisted I jerry curl my hair. She said it was because I was ugly. What made it even worse was this. My mother's husband had straight hair. My sister and brother had straight hair. I was the only one with nappy hair, apart from my big brother who was no longer living at home, just like my mother. And yet I was the one made to feel like something was wrong with me. When I refused the jerry curl because I wanted to follow the teachings of the church, I was forced. She said I needed it because I was ugly. I didn't like the jerry curl. I didn't choose it. And the pain, it was excruciating. The chemicals burned so badly, it felt like my scalp was being ripped apart. But still, I had no say. She also used to mock the size of my lips, constantly calling my mouth too big in a degrading way. Not joking, not playful, but repeatedly. So much that I started sucking my lips in, trying to make them look smaller, because I believed her. I was a teenager, just trying to survive emotionally, and I thought something was wrong with me. So no, it wasn't a joke. It wasn't a one-time comment. It was a pattern, a wound, a lie I carried into adulthood. I'm not sharing this to bash anyone. I'm sharing it because when people deny your truth or half speak it, you have every right to stand in it even louder. To every woman or man who was told you were ugly by someone who should have spoken life, I see you. You are not what they called you. You are enough. You have always been enough. And if my story makes someone uncomfortable, then maybe that discomfort is worth reflecting on. Because for years, I carried that pain. I should not be gaslighted after so many years. I have the right to speak what happened. I have the right to heal. And you have the right to heal. You want to hear more about my story? Grab the memoir. There are various links in the comment section below. Or simply type my name in Google along with the title of the book, Shattered Silence, and you can purchase it from the retailer of your choice. It's not just about pain, it's about forgiveness. It's about healing. It's about breaking generational cycles and finding your voice. God bless you.